All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Nicole, and welcome back to our English class. Welcome back to it's Tuesday. No, welcome to back to our class here in Conversational English. It is Tuesday, and I am so happy to see all of you here again. I hope you had a productive day. Yesterday, we started an important conversation about how to end small talk smoothly. No, we learned that ending a conversation politely is just as important as starting one. Now, it's like a good, as I've mentioned earlier, it's like a good handshake at the beginning of a meeting. Now, I've mentioned it yesterday, I mean. It sets a positive tone and it leaves a good, lasting impression. Now, we learned that the way we say goodbye can either make a person feel respected and valued for. If done awkwardly, it can make them feel uncomfortable. Now, our goal in this series is to make you feel confident and comfortable in every conversation from the very first word to the very last. Okay? Yesterday, we went through our first 10 phrases for ending small talk. I remember we started with a very common and polite phrase. It was really nice talking to you, right? Have you remembered that one? Now we learned that this phrase is a great general pleasantry that works in almost any situation, whether you are at a let's say networking event or just in the office break room. It is a polite way of saying that enjoyed you enjoy the time you spent with the other person. Okay? Now, we then talked about a phrase that is a little bit more direct and full of gratitude, which is thanks for the chat. I really enjoyed it. So, this phrase is great for showing your appreciation and sincerity, especially in a professional setting, because it shows that you value the other person's time and ideas. After that, we covered a phrase that is perfect for unexpected encounters. Glad we got to talk. We learned that this phrase is a warm and friendly way to end a conversation with someone you weren't expecting to see. It is a simple way of saying that you are happy you had a chance encounter. Okay? Then we moved on to a very important phrase for making a good first impression. It was great meeting you. This phrase is specifically for when you are meeting someone for the very first time. Using this phrase shows that you know the difference between talking to someone and actually meeting them, which is a great professional skill to have. We also learned how to express genuine enjoyment from a conversation with the phrase, I really enjoyed our conversation. This is perfect for when you've had a particularly let's say, interesting or meaningful talk, and you want to give a real compliment to the other person. It shows that you truly value their input. Following that, we learned a phrase that is forward looking and can be either a real invitation or just a polite pleasantry. If you remember, let's grab lunch or let's grab dinner sometime. We discussed how important it is to read the situation to know if the offer is genuine or just a friendly way to say goodbye. So, this phrase is a great way to keep the door open for the future conversations or future connections. Okay? Those are just some of the many phrases that we talked about yesterday. So, as you can see, we have built a strong foundation. You now have 10 different ways to end a conversation, but we're not done yet. Okay? Today, we're going to learn 5 more phrases to complete your small talk ending toolkit. These phrases are also very common and it will help you, let's say, complete your small talk ending toolkit. Okay? It will help you handle a variety of situations smoothly. So, after we go through all 5 phrases, we will do a short practice drill to help you use them as much as possible, as naturally as you can. This will be the last part of our small talk series, meaning that after this, we are done with our small talk conversations. We're going to move on from another topic under conversational English. Of course, By the end of the class, I expect you will be well equipped to end any conversation with confidence and grace. Okay? All right. Sige. Remember, everyone, the goal is to make these phrases a natural part of your vocabulary. Okay? The more you practice them, the more confident you will feel. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, all right. So, our first phrase of the day. Again, we're going to focus on a phrase that is one of the most useful and powerful tools you can have in your professional life. It is direct, it is polite, and it is a reason that no one can argue with. The phrase is, I have to get back to work. Now, again, I have to get back to work. Now, this phrase is a professional, universal get out of jail free card when you need to end a conversation. It works because it gives a clear and understandable reason for your departure. So, when you use this phrase, you are saying that you are a responsible person who has tasks to complete. Okay? In a work environment, this reason is of course it is always respected. No one can say no, you don't have to get back to work. It is a polite way to signal that the conversation has to end now, but it doesn't mean you don't enjoy the conversation at all. You are just simply showing that you have professional duties. Let's break down why it's so effective. The first part, I have to. It shows a sense of necessity. So it's not a choice, it's an obligation. This makes your reason for leaving seem serious. The second part, get back to work, is a universally understood reason. It could mean returning to your desk, a project, a meeting, or maybe a phone call. So it's a general phrase that covers any professional task you need to do. It is also very neutral in a way that it is not too personal. You are not saying I have to go because I am tired of talking to you. No, that's not what you mean. You are saying I have to go because I have work to do. Sorry for that. So this is just, a very important distinction to make. All right. Sige. Let's imagine some detailed real world examples that you might encounter in your professional life. Let me add some text box here so that I can put it. Examples. Let's have the first one. Maybe a very common office scenario. You are at office. Let's say you are at your desk, then you focused on a difficult report. A colleague comes over to your desk to chat about their weekend. You want to be polite, to listen for a minute or two, but you know you have a deadline. You can let this conversation take up too much of your time. You can turn to your colleague with a friendly smile and say, "That's so great. I'm sorry to cut this short, but I have to get back to work. I have a report to finish by the end of the day." Okay? So this phrase is perfect. Here, it is polite, it explains your situation, and it gives a clear reason that your colleague will respect. Okay? Here's another example. Oh no. Okay. Here's another example. At an office, still in an office context, maybe, but here it's an office luncheon. You are talking to a manager from another department. So the conversation has been friendly and interesting. After you have both finished eating, you know that the manager probably has to get back to their own duties. You can end conversation by saying, "It was a pleasure talking with you. I should probably get back to work." We're saying, "I'm adding. I should probably." Okay? Okay. So here it shows that you are conscious of your responsibilities and that you are a professional and ready to get back to your tasks. It leaves a very good impression. Okay? Now, here the phrase can be very useful in situations where you are not physically at your desk. Let's say you are on a casual phone call with a colleague or a business contact. So the conversation started professionally, but it has turned into a social chat. You are enjoying the conversation, but you know you have other things you need to do. So you can say here, well, it was great catching up. I have to get back to work now. Okay? We can talk again later. So this helps you end the call gently but firmly. It gives a valid reason for ending the conversation without being rude. So let's also look at how this phrase can be used when you are not at work. Imagine you are out for lunch in your place with some friends. You run into a colleague from a different team. You chat for a few minutes, but you both have to go back to the office soon. As you say goodbye, you can use this phrase. You might say, "It was great running into you. I have to get back to work now, but I'll see you later at the office." Now, this is a great way to signal that even though you are on a break, you're still thinking about your work responsibilities. It shows that you are a dedicated professional. Okay? Just like with yesterday's phrases, you can combine "I have to get back work" with other phrases, especially now. Okay? It is even more natural and to signal that you are living. For example, combination with pleasantry. So it was great talking to you. I have to get back to work now. Combined with a specific reason, I have to get back to work now. I finished this presentation. Okay? Combined with a well wish. Have a great day. I have to get back to work. Okay. Now you can also use some variations of the phrase that means the same thing, actually, if you think about it. Now let's get some things clear. Are we all done with this one? The first one. Any questions? Clarifications? All right, I think everything's good. Let's continue with the second phrase. It is very similar, but it is even more versatile. It works perfectly in both professional and personal situations, and it's kind of one of the most common ways to signal that you must leave. So, this is a very simple and polite phrase to use when you want to end a conversation. Okay? It's a great tool because it gives a clear reason for leaving without being too specific. Okay. All right. So this particular phrase, get going, it is a common idiom that means to leave or to depart. Okay. So when you say "I need to get going," you're simply telling the other person that it is the time for you to leave. It doesn't mean you are in a rush or conversation about being nice. Okay. I need to get going. So this is a very simple and polite phrase to use when you want to end a conversation. It's a great tool because it gives a clear reason for leaving without being too specific, right? Okay. The phrase "get going" is a common idiom that means to leave or to depart. So when you say "I need to get going," you're simply meaning yourself. Let's say. Okay, let's just have that. When it comes to introducing yourself, it should be 30 seconds and above. Okay. So the last we can have is 30 seconds. The most is 2 minutes. Okay? Alright. Let's imagine some situations. First, imagine a very common scenario at a business lunch. You've just finished eating with a client and a potential business partner. The conversation has been good and you have covered all the important details. It was really just a pleasure. You know, okay, that is, I need to get going. Okay, all right, I need to get going. This is our second phrase, right? Yes. So this phrase, it is really useful, no? When it comes to personal situations, let's say you're having a casual chat with a friend at a coffee shop in somewhere there in your place. So you've been talking for an hour, but you have to go home to prepare, something, maybe dinner. So you can end the conversation by saying, "That was a great chat, but I need to get going. I have to go home and cook. We should do this again soon." So this is a very natural and friendly way to end the conversation. It gives a gentle reasons for your departure and leaves the door open for another meeting in the future. Anyway, this phrase can also be useful when used during a trick that in the office or hallway. Okay, for example, specific combined with pleasantry. It was great seeing you. I need to get going. Combined with specific reason. I've got to go pick up my kids. Kids, I don't have any kids. Okay, I need to get going. That could be. And of course, combined with a well wish. Have a great day. I need to get hope. I need to go. I need to get going. Something like that. Okay, those are affirmations. Now, that is all I think. Okay, sorry. Next, I need to make a call. Our next phrase is very specific and polite way to end conversation. And of course, it works great when you are on schedule. The phrase is again, I need to make a call. Now, this phrase is a professional and direct way to end a conversation by giving a clear, time sensitive reason for your departure. So, when you use this phrase, you are saying that you have a specific task that you need to do immediately. Okay? No, you have to submit it to me. Okay? Okay? Are we getting that? All right. So, this reason is universally understood. You respected and respected in a work environment. It shows that the conversation has to end now, but it doesn't mean you don't enjoy the conversation, okay? So you're simply showing that you have professional duties. So let's break down why this is so effective. The first part, I need to. It shows the sense of necessity. It signals that you have a reason for leaving, that is not a choice. The second part, make a call, is a specific and time sensitive feedback. Talk, it's a great reason for opening a conversation and such things, okay? All right. Oh no, for a moment. I'm so sorry for that. Oh no. Let's go back so you've seen just a peek of our next lessons. Okay. I need to make a call. Okay? I need to make a call. So let's break down why it's so effective. The first part, I need to shows the sense of necessity. Okay, it shows signals that you have a reason for leaving, and that is not a reason. Okay, have a reason. So this phrase is perfect when you have a so to call that. Okay. Anyway, let's have that one. I need to make a call. It shows a sense of necessity, let's say. So this is it. This is just preliminaries, sorry. Yes, let's break down why it's effective. Now, the first part, I need to, it shows a sense of necessity. I need to. Okay? All right. This is in passive. So let's break down why it's effective again. The first part is I need to because it shows a sense of necessity. Not necessarily, but it depended on that. Okay? All right. Okay? Again, this detail, let's imagine something real world examples that you might encounter in your daily life. First, imagine a very common office scenario. You are at the hallway and you run into continue. You start cheating, but you have an additional scheduled phone call with your client in a few minutes. You need to get ready. Okay. Well, first, imagine a very common dice in office scenario. You are in the hallway and you run into a colleague. You start needing to how do you call that? Oh, needing. Okay. Anyway, let's try to be specific with that one. Okay. All right. So this is a perfect way to show that you are on schedule and you need to leave. Okay. All right. Now let's get some practice. And I want you to pair with a partner, or maybe I'm the one who would give that to you. Okay. Now, for this phone call, I need to make a call. We have two different types, strengths and limitations. Let's start with strengths. Any scenario? Okay, I think when it comes to this one, scenario one, you are talking with a colleague in front of in the front or in the office kitchen. You have a scheduled call with a client, so practice ending the conversation smoothly. Okay, all right. That's the scenario. First scenario, you are talking with a colleague, the office in the office kitchen. You've scheduled with a certain people only. So let's try to acknowledge them also. You also have a quick chat with your manager in the hallway. That's an example. You have to call to make me to a supplier in a professional way. Okay. So okay, let's say scenario one. You're talking with the colleagues in the office kitchen. You have a scheduled call with scenario two with renaissance. Okay, resonance. All right. Let me just check on module that I can follow. Okay. Scenario one. I'm just gonna provide you with different scenarios. So you're talking with a colleague in the office kitchen. You have a scheduled call with client. Practice ending the conversations smoothly. I don't know. Now again, everyone, remember the goal is for this place to feel natural to you. Okay? Everybody get a point. What? What do you think? Okay, that is I need to make a call. Okay? All right. For a moment, everyone. Okay, I'm back. So I need to make a call. Next to that, I have something I gotta do. Now, this is very common and effective phrases in both professional and personal situations. It is polite because it shows that you have a valid reason for a living, but it's also very vague. So the vagueness is actually what makes it so useful. Um, let's say, where's the secretary? Okay, please note on that, miss. Now, this is a very common and effective phrase in both professional and personal duties. Okay, all right. Where am I? Okay, are we all good? Again, this phrase is I have something gotta do. Let's break down why this first is so effective. The first part is want to share too much information. It's a goal way to end the conversation with, gentleness and firm, being firm. So let's break down these two words, okay? Okay. That is for small talk ending. I have something I gotta do. For first, imagine a very serious or common scenario. You are in the office kitchen and then you wanted to say goodbye. You can use this phrase, okay? All right. The next is the last phrase for the day, which is the communication between two people, okay? All right. Extensions. Let me see. I don't know if it blended really well. I need to go. Uh, I need to go because I heard my brother's voice. Okay? Alright, I'm kind of in a hurry. Now, here, it was nice meeting you. I have something I gotta do now, but I'll talk to you later, something like that. So, this is a perfect use of the phrase. It gives, for your departure, let's say, and leaves the door open for another conversation. Okay? Alright, for a moment. Okay, that is I'm kind of in a hurry. You can connect this with pleasantry, everyone. For example, it was great seeing you. I have something I gotta talk to. Combined with a specific reason, I've got a lot on my plate today. I have something I gotta do now. Combined with a well wish. Have a great day. I have something I gotta do. Okay? Alright. Everybody's present. I think everybody's present. No absences for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Now, here, I'm kind of in a hurry. Let's get this some practice and have all of these variations are great tools for non-student. Okay? All right. For example, you're talking with a colleague in the office hallway. You have to ask or task to do, but sorry, but you don't want to like explain it further. But you can just practice ending the conversation smoothly. Okay? All right. Number one, maybe. Remember, the goal is for this phrase to feel natural to you. Pay attention to speakers and so tone and body. Okay. All right. Are there more? One, two, three. So okay, let's have one. Number two. Again, I'm kind of in a hurry. I'll say a scenario. You are at a networking event. You want to move on to meet other people. So practice using this phrase to end the conversation globally. Okay. All right. All right. That is good. So this is really effective in both professional and personal situations. It is polite. It is because it shows how much time am I discussing. Anyway, that is all for me today. And we are going to talk about later on, okay? All right. Okay. All good. First, fifth phrase actually for the day. Imagine Elvira. Sorry. Okay, and anyway, let's go back to this one. Maybe I just have imagined it now. Maybe a coffee shop scenario. You're walking in the hallway and you know you are now running late for a meeting. So a colleague stops you to chat. You want to be polite, but you know you can't stay. You can end the conversation by saying, "It was great talking to you, but I'm kind of in a hurry because I'm late, or I'm late for your departure, and it shows that you are on schedule." All right. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So this phrase, "I'm kind of in a hurry," this is also very useful in personal situations, okay? Not just inside the classroom setting. Let's say you are at the local grocery shop, and then the phrase is also got offloaded, okay? Anyway, let's just have this one. This phrase can also be used in, how do you call that, in delivering or enduring or during a phone call. Okay, let's say you are at the local economy store and you got run into the hotel front, so you have a quick chat. What have you seen my airport at my end? um how do you call that, you're not moving at all, but I hear your voice really clearly. Okay, thank you so much for that. Okay, yes, please. Saminas mango. What's with mango? Okay, that's your idea of example of global. What makes you global? Okay, let's say that one, this one. I think. All right. Objectives: adapt and maintain different roles for different audiences. I'm sorry. Let me just, because the slide got lost. Yeah, for a moment. How about this one? For a moment, my presentation is not showing in your end. Don't know why, but I am presenting it here during our class. For a moment. Okay, all right. Anyway, let's go back for a moment. Okay, I don't know if you can still see the presentation. You cannot see it. I don't know what's happening for a moment. Okay, that's good. Yes, for a moment, everyone, huh? Let me just, because. Okay, here. Hi, finally. Thank you, Lord. Anyway, I'm kind of in a hurry. This is just, a very important phrase when it comes to ending a conversation. You can use this phrase that mean the same thing. For instance, I'm in a bit of a hurry. So this is a very common variation. The words a bit makes a phrase sound even subtler and softer and more polite. So another great variation is let's say I'm in a rush. That is a very common softer or softener. That means the same thing. All of these variations are great tools for ending a conversation. Okay? Okay, thank you so much for waiting. All right. So for this one, for this series, we've already talked about small talk ending, right? Which is again what under of social vocabulary. That is to make wait, send. I don't know. But anyway, this is my photo shoot. So far this years we have covered so many important phrases. We have learned how to start conversations, so to keep them going in our best and most recent lectures, we have learned from the very start of that one that they need an ending that acknowledges them also. Okay, you do not just be there with us. Okay, all right. Okay, oh God, and then I'm kind of in a hurry. That's also a time to practice. Okay, I'm kind of in a hurry. All right. I think everything's good. For a moment, let me check. Okay, I think everything's good now. Let me continue, everyone. Now, this is, I'm kind of in a hurry. To make this practice or using this particular phrase effective, I want you to use your imagination. I want you to close your eyes and really imagine the different scenarios I have provided or I'm going to provide of you. So imagine, let's first have this one. Imagine the person you are talking to. You know, imagine the place you're in. And imagine the feeling you have with that particular thing. Okay. All right. Now, as you practice, I want you to learn or pay attention to your tone of your voice. Are you done sounding polite? Are you coming friendly? Are you like sounding sincere? So feel comfortable and how do you call this? You can even record yourself on your phone. Just listen to how you sound and see if you like the way you said the phrase. Okay, this can be a good way to check your pronunciation. Are we good with that? Okay. Um, what's next? Okay, it's time to practice, everyone. We will have a set of practice drills to for the topic to go with us. Okay, time to practice. Now, when it comes to this practice, you are just going to see first your activity, and then next is mine for all sections. Okay. All right. Uh, okay. Okay. All right. This is a very good important drill for us because it depends on or includes all three parts of conversation that we've been talking to. Three parts of small talk initiation or opening, small talk maintaining or carrying, and small talk ending. Okay? This is a great way to see how all the skills we have learned work together in real context. So this scenario is about two people waiting in line at a coffee shop. I want us to go through it line by line and analyze why each part works so well. We are going to deconstruct the entire conversation to understand the mechanics of a real world dialogue. Okay, let's start with initiation. This opening is on the conversation. Person A later, how do you call that? Look like it's going to be a bit more of a wait, huh? So this place is always popcorn so ready. No. Okay? Alright. So this place is always so popular. This is a trend. How do you call that? This is a perfect example of how small talk initiation, because it works well on the online situations or apps. Okay? Alright. Now, when it comes to the other area, maybe not just from the business or economic alone, let's have, what's the next part? Oh, I'm sorry. What's the limit? The tone is really not aligning with the text. Okay, that's one problem. What other thing? So this is a really perfect example of a small talk initiation, because it's comment about the shared situation, which is waiting in line. So this is a great way to start a conversation with strangers and solid strangers. Um, this looks like it's going to be a bit of a wait. So it's a simple observation that is not good enough for another semester. Okay, all right. So last week we, with the introduction or initiation, is guys, opening our places where it's so popular. Every day, this conversation both follow to start a connective feeling. Okay, all right. Anyway, sorry for that. No, what was that? Okay, so sorry for that. What happened? Okay, so I'm kind of in a hurry. Are we still with this? Are you all familiar with this one? I think you're all familiar with this one already, right? So, again, this is really a good phrase for ending a conversation. Okay? Anyway, as I've mentioned earlier, we are going to have a practice trail, time to practice. Now, this is a very important trail for us because it includes all three parts of a conversation, especially those what we have been learning about. First is small talk initiation or opening. Second is small talk maintaining or carrying, and small talk ending. Okay, so this is a great way to see how all the skills we have learned so far work together in a real world context. So the scenario is about two people waiting in line at a coffee shop. I want us to go through it and, how do you call that, line by line, and analyze, how do you call this, and analyze why each part works so well. We're going to deconstruct the entire conversation to understand the mechanics of real world dialogue. Okay? Oh, for a moment. Yes, this one. Let's start with the initiation. This is the opening of the conversation. Let's say, this is really not the opening conversation. It is a small talk ending, but it's still a good way because they will be here for the recording. It was so interesting hearing about your hobbies. How about that one? So, it was so interesting hearing about your hobbies. Again, it was so interesting hearing about your hobbies. So, this shows that the conversation was really positive and enjoyable. Now, person B needs to respond. And of course, he wanted to end the conversation politely here. So, this is a perfect scenario where it is common in both professional and personal life. It could be a conversation with a colleague in the hallway, maybe a new contact at a networking event, or even a friend you run into the mall. The key is that the conversation was nice, so it needs to start and end good. Okay? All right. Our slide gives us two excellent options here to choose from. The first option is a very professional and direct way to end the conversation. I'm sorry, but I have to get back to work now. Okay. Next, I'm sorry, but let's spend some time breaking down what this phrase is effective. So next, we have, I'm sorry, but I have to get back to work now. I need to get going actually. Okay. So this phrase begins with I'm sorry, but. So this is a polite way to start. It shows that you are sorry to end the conversation and it softens your message. Okay? So the words I have to show that your reason for living is not a choice, it is a necessity. So this is a very clear part of the phrase. Finally, the phrase get back to work now is a clear, valid, and universally respected reason for you as a teacher. Okay? Anyway, that is our first practice drill. Okay. Second, let's have this one. Person A would say, maybe we could chat again soon. Person B would say, it is open to true conversations. Okay? All right. Maybe we could chat. Let's have this one. It's time to end it for now. The conversation. So with the idea of continuing it later, you want to continue the conversation later on. Person A says here, maybe we could chat again soon. So this is a direct question that shows that person A enjoyed the conversation and wants to continue it. Now, person B needs to respond, and of course, his responses should be open to future discussion. Okay, this is a perfect scenario because it's so common in both professional and personal life. It could be a conversation with a new business, contact with a new key in the GC. Okay, all right, that's that. Um, you will be able to spend some time breaking down why this phrase is so effective, and especially for working adults, right? So the word here is what? First option, definitely let's grab some lunch sometime. Second option, definitely let's grab. I know, I'll talk to you later. Okay? All right, let's have the first one. Spend some more time breaking down why this phrase is so effective, especially for working adults. So the word definitely, it is a great way to start it. It shows that you're serious about the meeting again. So for the people, for the crazy, busy people, which is already great. It is the word sometimes a clear and actionable and a friendly way to suggest a future meeting. So the word sometime makes it a flexible comment, which was suggested by door opening. Okay? Alright, thank you so much for that. So let's try to imagine this particular phrase. Maybe we could chat again soon. Let's give two examples. Maybe SSG, of course, someone would want to be elected. Okay? Our side gives us the two excellent options to choose from. The first option is a very enthusiastic side. If you can see it clearly, the packaging itself. Now this one, it is really a, how do you call that? It shows enthusiasm and a strong sense of agreement. It tells the other person that you are serious about meeting again. Okay? So this is clear, actionable, and fourth year graduates. Okay? For busy people, it came from. Okay, thank you so much for that. That's just as simple as you using your technology to search for news or whatever. Okay, that is also part of good conversation. Anyway, let's spend some time breaking down why this phrase is so effective, especially for working adults. The word definitely, again, I've mentioned earlier a while ago, it is a great way to start it and shows enthusiasm and a strong sense of agreement. Okay, it tells the other person that you are serious about being meeting again. Okay, let's what's this one? Maybe we could later. Yes, this is the second option. That's the second situation, everyone. Maybe we could chat again in person. Person B is open to future is open to future conversations. So these are just some of the many people that I really trust. Any secrets that I have, they will say it again to me, and I'll say one for myself too. Okay. All right. So this is how do you call this? Purpose of communication. Now, when it comes to this particular phrase, maybe we could chat again soon. Person B can say, definitely let's grab some lunch sometime, okay? And then or I'll talk to you later with with other people, okay? All right. Next, for a moment, I think this is not it. Okay. All right. I'm glad we had finally a chance to talk. Again, practice real here. Person A, I'm glad we finally had a chance to talk. Person B also enjoyed the conversation. How would he respond to that? He could say, again, he could say it was great meeting you. Thank you. It was great meeting you. Thank you. It was really nice talking to you. Okay? Small talk ending. Small talk initiation. This is the opening conversation. Okay? Small talk introduction. This is your guidance when it comes to writing. And the third example, a bit longer. What do you call this? Okay, that's good. All right, continuing with this practice drill. Person A says, I'm glad we finally had a whole chance to talk. Person B, also enjoy the conversation. Okay? All right. Okay. So that is an example. I'm glad we had finally had a chance to talk. So these are just some of this one. If you're confused, why is there here? Why are they here? Well, it's because this is a how do you call that, SOSA? Okay, student affairs. Sasa Susa. Okay. Anyway, this is a practice drill for small talk ending. Let's have another one. Now this is um how do you call this? This is how we do it. Okay. Today, it can house as many people as it can, but today we've broken down one final complete conversation from the beginning to end to see how all these speaks are together. Okay. All right. Okay. So we've covered everything from how to start a conversation with a neutral observation about a shared situation. Okay. To asking, of course, we also asked open-ended questions to keep the conversation going, and finally, how to end it politely. Of course, we have also learned the importance of giving a polite reason for leaving. Of course, one of the many reasons why we stop reading because it does not fit the audience. Okay, at all. All right. Uh, okay. So let me read the whole scenario, everyone. Let me reread it again. Waiting in line at the scenario is called waiting in line at a coffee shop. Person A looks like it's going to be a bit of wild, huh? This place is really awesome. Really? I'm surprised. I usually come on weekdays and it's not this crowded. Definitely, but you need, or you can come to here, okay? Often, for their own coffee or visitor. How do they get hold? Okay? All right. Thank you so much for your hard work, everyone. Thank you so much for your participation in this, everyone. Okay? Pinakunakunan na. Anyway, this is our first learning center. This is the first idea. Okay. Waiting in line at a coffee shop. How about the second one? At a park, you notice someone with a dog. You'll say, "That's a really cute dog. What kind of he? Is he?" I'm sorry. What kind of, or what kind is he? What kind of dog is he? Something like that. Okay? All right. Are we all good now? Okay, I think everything's good. Let's have this one. At a park, um, you notice someone with a dog. Okay, let me read the whole conversation. That's a really cute dog. What kind is he? Thanks. He's a golden retriever. His name is Max. Oh, wow. He looks so friendly. How old is he? Oh, he's about 2 years old. Well, we should probably get going. He needs his walk. Okay, no problem. It was great. Nice meeting to you. Have a good walk. Okay? That's it. You can do that. Okay? Um, with this one, I want us to go through it line by line and, of course, try to analyze why each part works so well. We are going to deconstruct the entire conversation to understand the mechanics of a real world dialogue. Small talk initiation. Let's start with the initiation. This is the opening of the conversation. Person A says, "That's a really cute dog. What kind of is he?" So, this is a perfect example of a small talk initiation with a specific observation, which is the dog. Now, this is a great way to also start a conversation with a stranger. How do you call that? Specifically because the two-part question will kind of tend. I'm sorry. All right. All good. Okay. Example. Okay. Let's start with the initiation. Of course, that's the initiation part, everyone. Okay. But if you wanted some more aesthetic, let's see. It's not really that familiar, this one. Okay. Now let's talk about small talk maintenance. What is that? What do you think? All right, that's okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much for that. It's been a pleasure to be as a photographer or videographer. Okay. All right. By now, you should feel confident about small talk as a whole. Again, remember everyone. Okay, remember small talk is not about having a deep, serious discussion, okay? Small talk. It's about being friendly, showing genuine interest in the person you are talking to, and leaving a good impression. So it's about using your observation skills to find a neutral topic, asking questions to keep the conversation going, and have how do you call that? Have the tools to end it smoothly without making it awkward. So this is an important skill in both professional and personal lives, and it can help you build strong relationships and feel more comfortable in any situation. Let me have this one because my slide is cut. Okay, what do you think? Now, when it comes to this, everyone, it is really good conversation that we have here. There is small talk initiation, maintaining, and a possibility, or how do you call that? Yeah, possible of that one, having that one. Okay. All right. So this is our at the park. Let me read it. That's a really cute dog. What kind is he? Thanks. He's golden retriever. His name is Max. Oh wow, he looks so friendly. How old is he? He's about 2 years now. We'll talk about 2 years. Okay, 2 years. They're already full grown adults. They look like. Okay. So he looks so friendly. How old is he? Yeah, he's about 2 years old. Well, he would probably get going at he need. Sorry. At get going. He needs his homework. Let's have that one. By the end of instruction, you have a lot more confidence, more about a bit more confident when speaking. Okay, that's why I agreed with your compromise to use the speech script. But everything which should we feel discouraged or disqualified. Okay, all right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your hard work and participation in this series class, especially on the tools that you have all need or tools that you've tried using today. Okay, there are two only. Okay, that is at a park where you notice someone's. Okay, sige. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much for that, Miss. Let's have scenario two. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for your hard work and participation in this class. Now you all have your new tools, maybe not new, but some of them are very familiar. This is just a simple talk, okay? Thank you so much for your hard work. You'll be surprised at how much more confident you'll become into our practice session. Yeah. Let's read. Anyone read? Thing. Okay. Thank you so much for that. How about the others? Okay. Thank you so much for that. Let's have next. Okay. That's the last slide of our session for today. Thank you so much again, once again, everyone, for being here with me. I appreciate your presence. See you next meeting, which is tomorrow, and we will start with another topic, which is we're starting an opinion, something like that. Okay. Thank you, and have a great rest of the night ahead. Goodbye. Anyway, let's consider that one.